Late last week, we spoke with former BYU track and field cross-country runner Rory Linkletter. He qualified for the Paris Olympics as well, one of BYU's 8, and will represent Team Canada in that marathon. Here's our conversation with one of the Elite 8, Rory Linkletter. Rory, you are part of a growing and very impressive contingent of Cougars competing in Paris at the Olympics. Only you're competing for Team Canada, man. You're repping Canada, and we think it's fantastic. Congratulations on qualifying for the Paris Olympics.
Thanks. It's an honor to be back on Sports Nation. It's been a long time, but yeah, I'm excited for Paris. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be even cooler to have so many BYU Cougars to be there and share that moment with me.
Bigger achievement, qualifying for the Olympics or being on BYU Sports Nation?
Small nod to the Olympics, I
think. Incredible. Okay, take us back to the moment that you realized you had actually done it. What was that like emotionally for you to realize, oh my gosh, I get to represent Canada and do so in Paris of all places?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're in the sport of track and field, it's an Olympic sport, and it's one of the big Summer Olympic sports, I believe. So if you're in this sport, your dream is to represent your country and to go to that biggest stage. It's like a football player wanting to play in the Super Bowl or a basketball player wanting to be at the NBA championship level. There is no higher level in our sport. So the idea of just being able to be on that stage and compete at the highest level is amazing. And so when I crossed the finish line in the race in which I hit my time qualifier, you know, I was just elated. I kind of felt like a big weight was lifted off my shoulders because at least for the last 3 years, it's all I've been able to think about is getting on this team. Just with post-Tokyo and watching that one from my couch and wanting to be so badly in this Paris one, knowing that I'm like in the prime / entering the prime of my career as a marathoner.
Yeah, speaking of the marathon, you're going to run it with 2 other former BYU Cougars in Connor Mance and Clayton Young. So what does it mean to you to be running with 3, well, including yourself, to be in a trio of BYU Cougars running in the Olympic marathon?
Yeah, so Connor Mance and I used to compete against each other in high school in Utah. He was a year younger than me, but he was a superstar in high school even. So we had a couple great battles dating back, 12, 13 years ago. And then he became my teammate at BYU for 2 years after he got off his mission. And Clayton was my teammate at BYU for 4.5 years. So these are guys that not only just happen to share my alma mater, but I've shared, huge moments of my running development and career with. And they inspired me, honestly. They qualified for the Olympics 2 weeks before I hit my time qualifier. And I remember watching them go 1-2 at the trials and having this feeling of like, man, I really got to make this team now. Like, it'll hurt so much worse knowing that, guys that I have been on the same level as, competed with my entire life, did it. It just made it feel like it was doable for me. And so I'm really grateful that, they kind of paved the way for me a couple weeks before. I was on my own journey before and that was my goal, but it really gave me a big nudge towards I got to get this done.
Let's talk about some of the nuts and bolts. Let's go over some logistics for you. Between now and Paris, what's your schedule look like? When are you getting over there? Are you going to be there for opening ceremonies? Take us through what the lead up to the games will look like for you.
Yeah, so I've got a pretty good system in place with Athletics Canada. They're honestly a world-class organization with how they put together preparation for these games. So performance over everything. So I will not be at the opening ceremonies. I will go over to Europe on the 26th. My race is August 10th, though. So I'll spend the last 15 days of prep in Europe getting prepared with the time change, obviously, and heat acclimatization is a big thing with the summer games. So I'll go to Barcelona for my first 9-10 days in Europe, and I won't head into Paris till 5 days before my race. Part of that is to just stay focused and not let the hoopla of the Olympics, take away from your performance, but also just I think the IOC doesn't want people taking up beds for that long, honestly. So it's partially that, but Yeah, so right now I'm in the thick of my training, and I'll head over there at the end of this month and start my taper over there, get my heat acclimatization in Barcelona, and then get into Paris, kind of soak in that atmosphere for a few days before my race, and then I'll be there for the closing ceremonies and do a little post Olympics vacation in France with my family.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How many family representatives are going to be over there cheering you on?
Yeah, so my mom is coming, my wife, her mom, and my kids, and then a lot of my extended family from Canada. That obviously they're super pumped to have me represent Canada in the Olympics. So a big group of my dad's side of the family are all flying out, and we're gonna vacation with them after. And yeah, it's really cool. It'll be fun. There's obviously going to be a lot of Cougar Nation out there. I've talked to a ton of BYU track and XC alumni that we have a group chat called Cougars in Paris, where like people are organizing logistics for coming to watch and cheer on all the Cougars that'll be in Paris. And it seems like there's a big group going, so it'll be really cool.
Wow, very cool. You mentioned your wife, and we need to remind people that she in her own right was an elite athlete at BYU, the great Jill Van Mierlo, who competed at such a high level for BYU gymnastics. So why not give her a shout out too? What's that like been for you post BYU with Jill as athletes, as she has supported you in your career? What has she done in that regard to help you pursue this dream?
Yeah, well, obviously, number one is putting up with my crap. I would say anyone who is married to or has a partner that is a marathoner, regardless of whether or not they're professional at it or at the highest level, knows that training for a marathon is time-consuming. It's energy draining. It can be stressful, especially when our livelihood is dependent on performance and making these Olympic Games and things like that. So I obviously have had a very stressful last 6 months. It's been an amazing 6 months building towards Paris and making this team, but stressful nonetheless. It's just one of those things where I wanted it so bad, and so there was a lot of moments where doubt crept in, and she was kind of my rock in all those moments, and she's been there for my entire journey as an athlete. Because really, when I got to BYU, I met her, first day on campus, and she's seen me rise in the sport. She's seen me have my lowest of lows, and she's been there through it all. And yeah, I couldn't have done it without her, obviously, and especially now that we've got the two little kids, she takes a big load of parenting so that I can focus on training really, really hard, and I do what I can to help her when I can, and we have a great balance of teamwork here, and it's been really fun.
Oh, amazing insight.
Very cool. Speaking of relationships, how much communication do you have with Coach Eyestone? What's the relationship with Coach Eyestone still to this day?
I mean, Coach Eyestone is an amazing person. He's an amazing guy, so I think all of his athletes that have ever run for him have nothing but good things to say about him. So I've stayed in touch with him over the years. I just saw him a few weeks ago because I came out to Park City to train with Mance and Clayton for 2 weeks at the beginning of June. And yeah, so I saw Ed for a little brief moment while he was, bouncing between NCAAs and getting ready for the Olympic trials. But yeah, he's still a great friend. I'll see him at actually another BYU alumni's wedding this upcoming weekend or 2 weekends from now here in Flagstaff, funny enough. So he's a guy that I've stayed in touch with. He called me when I qualified and was just so proud and expressed how proud he was of me. And I'd say I still claim him as my coach. I still call him Coach Eyestone. He's still, a big part of my development as an athlete, and I think he can definitely claim all my success. I would give him all the credit in the world, and I think he, kind of like a proud coach, proud uncle, proud whatever, someone that kind of just cheers you on from the side at this point. Somewhere,
Rory, when you are running in the marathon, he'll be giving you the Eyestone windmill. Like it'll be happening for sure. You mentioned achieving a dream of getting to the Olympics, because that in its own right is unbelievable, and you deserve massive credit for that. What's the next step as far as expectations go? Now that you're in the race, have you set a bar for yourself for the race in Paris? If so, what is it?
One of my, the number one goal is as always with the marathon. Marathon's a race of execution, of patience, of just doing your own thing and learning how to handle all the battles that come with being out there for 2+ hours and grinding. So first and foremost, execute a good race. I think if I execute a good race, I can compete really well and beat a lot of guys that on paper are obviously, far better than me when you look at the times on the sheet. But races are run on the road, not on paper. And my two weird arbitrary goals that obviously I have no control over, because how other people do is how they've prepared and how they execute on the day, is I'd like to be top 10. I think that's a realistic stretch goal for me, and I would also like to be the top North American. So wink, wink. I think you know what that
means. Certainly. We'll throw in another one to be the top BYU guy, right? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's go. Hey, Rory, to say the least, we are thrilled for you and cannot wait to watch you compete in Paris in the marathon. We will be watching closely. We're sending you a ton of BYU Sports Nation karma for your training and Flagstaff to get through an alumni wedding and then eventually get over to Paris as well.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. And go Cougs. I'm excited for this football season in the Big 12.